Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you my updated Laval deck profile for May 2013. I thought with the release of Hidden Arsenal 7, everyone collecting up the Laval support for their Laval decks, I'd give you guys an updated version of the deck. Pretty much this deck's purpose is to get out shooting Quasar Dragon, so I'll show you guys the main deck and the extra deck, what cards you need to run to get out shooting Quasar Dragon. So let's go ahead and get started. I run 3 Laval Magma Cannoneer. He's one of the vital pieces to getting out Quasar, so you got to run 3 of him just to make sure you can get at least 2 into the graveyard for the play. Also run 3 Laval Volcano Handmaiden. Probably the most important effect monster to getting Quasar's effect off. Her effect pretty much runs like this. If you have 1 Laval monster in the graveyard and she is sent to the graveyard, you can use her effect to send 1 Laval monster again to the graveyard. So you send 1 more version of her, another version, and then finally 1 more Laval Magma Cannoneer, it's a mouthful, to the graveyard, and that sets you up for the rekindling play. So you want to make sure you get those many monsters in the grave for the play. Also run 2 Laval Lakeside Lady. She's pretty much used to blow up your opponent's back row or set cards on the field. So you pretty much banish her and another Laval monster to target 1 set card, because the biggest concern you have when getting Quasar out is making sure your opponent's field is clear so they don't have anything set that could stop your play, because they can either stop it by negating rekindling or bottomlessing your monsters when they come out. So you want to make sure you can stop that with Lakeside Lady's effect. Also running 1 Laval Miller. His effect is when he's destroyed by battle, you can send 2 Laval monsters from your deck to the grave. So you pretty much send these 2 and you can get the whole play off to set up for Quasar. Also run 2 Boost Warriors. I run Boost Warrior pretty much because with him, you need to make sure you have this last piece for Quasar, because when you synchro, you have this level 5, and you're left with 1 more monster because of the rekindling. So with your last Laval Volcano Handmaiden on the field, you special summon the Boost Warrior, and you're ready to go into Formula and almost finish making your Quasar. So that's it for the Lavals. I also like to test them out, 2 Pyrorex the Elemental Lord. I run him pretty much because he's very easy to get out with this deck. Pretty much because you're banishing Lavals, summoning Lavals, so it's pretty easy to have 5 fire monsters in the graveyard, which is what you need to special summon him. So I like to run 2 just to see how it works. It's been working pretty well for me so far. I also run 3 Swift Scarecrow, mainly because with this deck you want to stall out until you can get the Quasar play going, whether you need the right cards in your hand or anything like that. So 3 Swift Scarecrow really helps. I considered Battle Fader. The only problem with Battle Fader, when you use Rekindling and you have the leftover Battle Fader on the field, you can only get out 2 Handmaidens, and that really sets you back for your play. So that's why I prefer Swift Scarecrow. That's it for all the monsters. We'll move on to spells. I run 3 Molten Conduction Fields. Pretty much the most broken spell card out there for this deck. Its effect is send 2 lava monsters from your deck to the graveyard. That's it. Sweet and simple. So you pretty much use the effect to send the 5 lava monsters you have in your deck to the grave and set up for the Quasar play. The one thing I like about this deck, if you have first turn Pyrorex and Molten Conduction Field in your hand, you pretty much can special summon the Pyrorex on your first turn. You use the Conduction Field, send the 5 fire monsters, and special summon the Pyrorex, and then blow up anything if your opponent has on the field and deal out some massive damage. So it's a pretty fun move to get off. They really don't see it coming. They expect the Quasar play to go off, and you just surprise them with a Pyrorex. I think it's hilarious. I also run 3 Rekindling. You pretty much need this card to get the Quasar play off, because once you have the 5 lava monsters in the graveyard, you use Rekindling to special summon all 5 of them and begin the setup for Quasar. Also run 1 day of peace. There we go. This card's been put to 1. It really helped with the stall of the deck, but still pretty much works at 1. To help out with the draw power, I now run 2 Upstart Goblins to make up for the 1 days of peace. Really helps. The only bad thing about them is you can't OTK with Quasar because you gave your opponents the extra 1,000 life points, but they do help with the draw power. I also run 2 Hand Destructions. Pretty much use this effect to reshuffle my hand. Not reshuffle, it discards them to the graveyard. But pretty much I get the consistency I need if I have, let's say, lava monsters in my hand and I want to get them to the grave so I can draw into the spell cards I need. So I use 2 Hand Destructions. Also run 2 MST just to help with that back row problem. 2 Pot of Duality, Dark Hole, Heavy, and 1 Reinforcement of the Army. This is pretty much for the Boost Warrior, so I know I can get it in my hand when I need to. And that's it for the spells. We'll move on to traps. I run 2 Threatening Roar and 2 Wabaku. It's really pretty much, in my opinion, preference what you want to run of these. You can run 3 Threatening Roar and 1 Wabaku if you want, but I prefer 2 and 2. Pretty much because you don't want your opponent to attack, and you do want to protect any of the weak Laval monsters you have on the field. And I'm also running 2 Torrential Tributes, because most of the time, until you get Quasar out, you don't have that many monsters on the field. So you could set this card and blow up any plans your opponent has with 2 Torrentials. And that's it for the main deck. We'll move on to the extra. 1 Hyper Librarian. He pretty much helps with the Quasar plays, because you're going to be synchro summoning a lot. You either go into, first you go into Librarian, and then you go into Dragon, so you get the draw for Librarian. And then Formula, so you get the 2 draws, the 1 for the Librarian and 1 for the Formula. So he just really helps with the draw power. So I also run 1 Formula, Shooting Quasar Dragon, it's the main card of the deck. 1 Shooting Star to go with the Quasar. 2 Laval Dragons. This is pretty much the Bryonic of the deck. You can shuffle 2 Laval monsters from your graveyard into the deck to return 1 card your opponent controls to the hand. So pretty broken in my opinion. 1 Laval Dual Slasher, 1 Laval Stenin, 1 Black Rose Dragon, really just for options. 1 Catastor, same options. 1 Armory Arm, 1 Gaia Knight, 1 Iron Chain, 1 Maestroke, pretty much because I do have a few Cannoneers in this deck, just in case I need to exceed to protect myself. And 1 Galaxy Queen. I run the Galaxy Queen pretty much for the situation where I rekindle my 2 Cannoneers and my 3 Handmaidens, and they bottomless, destroying the Cannoneers, and I'm left with 3 Handmaidens on the field who really are either going to get banished or I exceed into Galaxy Queen to protect them. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm hoping to see this deck a lot more play. It's a pretty fun deck, getting out Quasar, and that's pretty much it. Please like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.